What the fuck?
Hello and welcome to Taste Like Tea, a podcast in which I talk about myself. My name is Theo. Don't call me Ted. I am currently sitting outside. Not much further from where I'm normally sitting, but I'm sitting outside instead of in a car. I genuinely hate the idea of posting this with as much wind as it's hitting my phone right now. But I don't know. I don't feel like sitting in my car for the next hour and a half, and I don't feel like not making an episode today. Plus, I kind of need to. I have a couple of double features I want to talk about, and I have a show for that, right? I just happen to be in the most annoying place in existence. Normally I don't even really like being outside in the sun, as my previous complaints on previous episodes were. But I sat here yesterday and it was nice before the landscaping company pulled up and ruined my day. But I guess now I'm back and the grass is mowed, so I guess that's cool. But I'm sitting down in grass right now. I'm leaning up against a tree. I have a bottle of water that I accidentally left in the car all day, so it's really hot. Well, it's warm. I don't mind warm water. It's probably not even that bad. No, it's nice. So yeah, I'm gonna be talking about some films today. Probably. I'm a person that exists, and I don't know. I feel weird saying it every episode, but at the same time, podcasts are supposed to be kind of repetitive in that sense. So I don't really know. I mean, I don't even know if I sound okay out here. So like this could be a complete shit episode to begin with. But I am a person that exists. Without my perspective, I am nothing. I guess. I don't know. I have a perspective. I have thoughts. I have feelings. And I was thinking about it the other day because I rate films on Letterboxd very particularly. I can be very generous with stuff. I can absolutely, I gave the first 7 Saws 5 stars, and even as a huge Saw fan, I understand how ridiculous that sounds. But as I said, I'm a person with opinions and feelings, and that's the main reason I write reviews the way I do, and the reason I rate the way I do is because, I'm me. If someone's going to pay attention to my reviews in any form, it's because they want to hear me say it. And because of that, I am not an objective person when it comes to reviewing things, because I don't need that. You don't need that. No one needs another overly objective person to review a movie. I'll say things that are dumb, like there's no way this film isn't a 5-star thing to somebody. I'll say stuff like that. I will be closed-minded about things, but I understand that closed-mindedness is voluntary and true 100%, but only true to me. Where am I getting at with this? Well, I don't think anybody's ever directly told me, but I've been on the internet a little bit too much this week, which sucks. I kind of fucking hate it. The longer I'm on it, the less Russian TikTok I'm on, and the sadder I get, because I'm so tired of people being dickheads, and my stupid ass. Never mind, I'm not going to get into it that much. But there's a thing about rating films objectively, and your opinion shouldn't go into the rating of the film. The film should be rated on a scale of 0 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever, and it should be consistent across all mediums or whatever. I don't believe in that, because as I've come to learn from my nearly 1,000 movies I've watched in the last 2 years. Probably more than that, actually. I think I've logged over 1,100 on Letterboxd, plus whatever I did prior to that. And like I look back at some of my older reviews, and you know, like I gave Nightmare on Elm Street 3.5 stars or 4 stars. I gave one of the Disney movies I really like, not Nemo. Wow. I really don't know what Disney film I'm thinking of that I had to up my score because it was just so ridiculously low, because I sat there in my first couple months of Letterboxd going like, this isn't a 5-star movie objectively. This isn't good on, like, you know, there's a reason it's a 3.0 and not a 4.2. But the longer I sat here, like, or sat on the site, like, reviewing things, I realized that I am a person, I am an individual who thinks things, and my thoughts are exactly why I review things. I feel like I'm going around in a little bit of a circle, but let me, I guess, circle it one more time. We don't need a bunch of, what's his name, Robert Egbert, I don't know. We don't need a bunch of people like snobby assholes saying like, this is low quality film, this is not quality filmmaking, because you know, Repo Chick is one of the best movies I've ever seen, and it was made on $200,000 and done entirely in front of a green screen. And I guarantee anybody who looks at film and say like that's objectively bad, they're gonna rate that like 0.5 star, because even if they liked it or not, they're gonna go, that was objectively bad. I'll see people review things and say like, that was like the worst, like the funniest thing I've ever seen, and rated 2 stars. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it makes a little bit of sense because people want to be as, you know, and then there's obviously people who just want to, I don't want to say want to conform, but they're just kind of part of the general public, which is a thing. Well, today I'm going to be talking about a double feature. I do double features, you know, that's a thing I do. I like to do double features. They're not as excruciatingly exhausting as a triple feature. I can but I can sneak a double feature in on a weekday. Triple features are at best on a weekend, and that's if I'm lucky. That's if I'm alone and able to pick 3 highly specific films. I really wish, just a random side thought, I had a triple feature of what I called Fucked. Just a triple feature of Fucked. And it was like Cannibal Holocaust, Miss 45, and I was trying to find Fuck My Son. That new, I don't even know what genre it's supposed to be. It's like a comedy thriller. I don't really know. Well, it turns out that that wasn't released yet, and the people who are watching it are only watching it as festivals. So I have to wait to watch Fuck My Son. I would love to watch Fuck My Son. That sounds like such a good movie. And I'm pretty sure it has an X rating, which is just hilarious, because I could only imagine what this movie is doing if it's about like forcing a woman to fuck her son. And it not just being a bunch of sex scenes, which I can almost guarantee it's not. Anythingbutted@gmail.com if you want to reach out to me about this for some reason. Maybe you can tell me how to find Fuck My Son. Maybe you can tell me when it'll be in New Jersey and I can go and watch it on a theater screen. That'd be cool. You know, like I say, or I'm trying to say in every episode, is I am a person, right? And I exist, and people disagree with people all the time. Humans are made to disagree with each other. Well, humans are made to... no, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't care. What is it? So... anythingbutted@gmail.com if you really want to, you know, tell me what's up. I exist, and I probably won't email you back unless you're specifically asking for an email back, but, you know, there's a the whole, answer it on here thing too, if it's a question or whatever. I don't know. Just podcast things. Generic, simple, day-to-day podcast things. It's just, what I'm offering. It's not what I do, it's what I offer. So, I'm doing a double feature today. It might sound a little repetitive, as I kind of just did one. But I have done last week. I'm not looking at my Letterboxd diary right now. I planned this one yesterday. I looked at my diary and went, yeah, I'm definitely doing this. But I did a double feature of Wes Craven again. I watched 2 Wes Craven films in the same night. And it was an experience. These are films I have seen before. Well, actually, the last time I did a Wes Craven double feature, it was films I've also seen before. Sorry, an ant was just on me. Nature and stuff. But Wes Craven feature, films I've seen before. I think it was on a weekday. I kind of shoehorned it in. I shoehorned in a couple of double features last week. The next episode I'm really excited to talk about too, because it kind of is almost like it was back to back. It was one day after another. This double feature, and then another double feature the next day. God, doesn't nature sound like shit? It's so disappointing. I can't just, granted I'm near a highway. I know that. But there's no other space around here where I can, occupy a quiet without driving somewhere. And that kind of defeats the purpose. I want to sit here and do nothing in this. It's not even a field, I guess, considering it's right on the off ramp of a highway in between a bank and an old vape shop. But it's a tree with grass around it, so it's kind of a field. So what films did I watch for this Wes Craven double feature? This sequel to Wes Craven's filmography, watch through or whatever. What are the films I watched? Well, I felt a little neglectful last time when I watched. I'm doing a double feature of Wes Craven, and I'm starting with his second film. And I sat on it and realized that I kind of wanted to rewatch his first film. I really wanted to, just because I haven't seen it since I first got into extreme-ish cinema. So as I just said, and films I've watched before, if I watched it in the first 6 months that I had Letterboxd, they were all very objectively scored, and they don't reflect my actual opinion on them. I at one point had words I said where I described things I liked, and then I gave it a score based on how I thought it sat in the world of cinema. God, I really hope this is coming through, because I know I haven't really talked about anything yet, but this is not an important episode, but just an exciting one. I really wanted to do this one. So I watched Last House on the Left, the original 1972 version. Again, I'm not looking at my phone, I'm just kind of talking. The longer I look at my phone, the longer the silences are going to be. So I just am not going to do that. But I watched Last House on the Left. I have a DVD of it. I have the original, well, not the original, but I have the 2002 I think that's the year it was pressed. I have like the original MGM DVD release of Last House on the Left, and I didn't watch any of the special features on it, just because I was trying to do the double feature, and double features usually don't allow time to slip in a couple of like featurettes and behind the scenes stuff. So but one thing I did do, and one thing I made sure I did the last time I watched this film, is this DVD, this MGM DVD of Last House on the Left from 2002 has a video clip. Sorry, I'm watching two people drive badly in the parking lot. It has a video clip, a 45-second clip at the beginning of the film, right before the film starts, of Wes Craven basically just saying hi and thank you for watching and whatever. He says, at that moment in time, which granted is 25 years ago now, at that moment in time, that release of Last House on the Left is the most complete way you can see it. Since its original theatrical release, because upon its first running, it got horribly cut down. It's a pretty intense movie. It exists. It's notorious for a reason. I think it's one of the films that started the video nasty movement. If not, it's right around that time. I know Driller Killer and I think I Spit on Your Grave are part of that. I'm not sure, but what is it? So, I watched Last House on the Left. It has a 45-second introductory clip from Wes Craven himself. 2002 Wes Craven, so he's not entirely gray and still a little spry. He looked good. And he's just saying, like, this is the most complete you'll ever see the film as of this exact point in time. That's actually kind of it. Oh, and he also said something like, any innocent animals or young children should be removed from the room, and anybody with a heart condition should probably take their medication. And stuff like that, just kind of like silly early like film scare, like pre-movie, like it's just a film, it's just a movie, it's just a movie, just a movie, just a movie. Like, so what is Last House on the Left? It's actually one of the easiest films to describe, because it's like two things. It's two things, and it's stretched out to 80 minutes because as I learned with the Fireworks Woman extra features, Wes Craven, when writing this film, was asked to make the most evil, depraved thing possible that he could think of. And he did. He did exactly that. It probably could have gone crazier, to be honest. But the film is, it's pretty simple to explain. So there's these two girls. One of them is about to turn 18, I guess. Like, it's just her 18th birthday, I think. It might be her 16th, but I'm pretty sure it's her 18th birthday. That's like the whole thing, is it's like these girls are becoming women at the same time that these men are doing evil things to women. So these two girls are going out to a concert. And their parents are like, be careful, don't buy drugs or listen to angry music or whatever old people were afraid of at the time. And they're walking, they're getting ready to go to the concert, and one of them's like, hey, let's go buy some grass. They use the word grass very specifically, and they say it a lot. They might say pot or dope at some point, but generally they say grass. So they find this twitchy dude and ask him for drugs. He goes, yeah, I can take you to drugs. And he he has them follow him back to his house, where a family of rapists are looking for new sex slaves. And that's kind of the movie. So now they're in a house with a like a bunch of evil people, and a woman who I don't fully understand her reason for being there. Well, I do. I'm pretty sure she's the previous acquirement of these rapist men, because there's a point where she's like, I can't be entertaining all these guys. We need more women in here. We need to equal out the genders or something like that. And when she's talking about it, because this is before we know that they're rapist people, it kind of puts you in like a moment of like, yeah, this girl kind of makes sense. I mean, like, why is she the only one there? And then they meet the girls, and it just immediately goes downhill from there. There's a character named Krug, which is kind of like the main bad guy. He's like, what's his name? David Hess, I think. He's like the main bad guy, and he's really good at being evil. I got a comment on my review recently. Not recently, like the night I posted that review for Last House on the Left, where someone saw on their Blu-ray behind the scenes like footage of the guy who plays Krug. I'm pretty sure it's Hess, but he like was a horrible person, and he was a horrible person on set, like off camera, and he basically treated the women that he treated like shit in the movie the same way he did on set. And that person found it inexcusable. Depending on the context, I think it's inexcusable. I'm not saying like women should be harassed on set or anything, but he never, like I said, I didn't actually watch it, so I'm this is just speculation, but he could have just been like in character then too. I don't know. But if that is a thing, that's kind of shitty. That's really shitty and such a shame. But I didn't watch any of that, and yeah, it's just something that someone mentioned to me the night I watched it, and I kind of looked into it a little bit just because like I read his review on it, and he went into some detail about it. It sounds pretty fucked up. But yeah, so these girls are going to buy weed. They buy weed from the wrong person. They buy weed from like the wrong person, and now they're trapped. And instead of having a fun birthday night, her and her friend are just getting assaulted and tortured in various kind of original ways, I guess. I can't really remember, like, I'm pretty sure the first outing, like the first bit of violence towards these women is Krug forcing this woman to piss her pants. And this kind of comes back to the thing I mentioned in Fireworks Woman, where it's just he's making someone piss their pants, but that time it's erotic and this time it's scary. And it's kind of shot exactly the same. Just one person's crying and one person is not, I guess. I guess that's the main difference. So she pisses herself, and I'm pretty sure they, like, they say, like, mean shit to them and stuff like that. Like, they're berating them with horrible language the entire time. I'm pretty sure she gets cut up while she's pissing herself. Like, they're just kind of cutting at her. It's just a bunch of violence, but it's funny because that's like most of the movie, and I don't really remember the order of operations or like the specific details of it clearly. There's very key moments I do remember. I guess let me get through like the the general summary, and I guess I can go back and just talk about things I like and dislike, I guess. So they get captured by these mean people, and they get assaulted for what's basically like an hour of screen time. And then 30 minutes before the movie's over, the two girls are officially dead. Like, they're both dead. It's shot like the end of the movie. And then the parents take revenge, because the parents exist, and they want to take revenge. And they do it in a really weird way. But I guess let's go back to the beginning and say some things I like and dislike or whatever. I don't even know if this is how I should be doing it. I do things differently every fucking time, and every fucking day I get more and more annoyed with the sounds, even though I'm exposing myself to them intentionally. That's another thing I don't understand. Why motorcycles need to be so loud. Their engines are a fraction the size. I don't care if their exhaust pipes aren't that long. They have to be long enough to make it. They make motorcycles that are quiet. People just don't like to buy them. Like, that's the energy that I get from people. So I don't know. The pissing scene is pretty intense. The film is way funnier than I remember it being, because obviously I remember the extreme, just like, uncomfortableness of the film, but I didn't remember like specific details. So when the film got funny, I was really surprised. It's not like it turns into a comedy. Like, it has comedic moments, starting from like the first scene where the daughter's talking to her father about how her breasts grew in, and she's like, "What, you mean my tits?" And he goes, "Tits? What's this tits business?" Like, just the way he reacted to it was funny. You get some exposition of like who the family is on the car radio, as like, just random car radio scenes are happening that describe the family as they recently escaped from prison, and Krug is known to have intentionally gotten his son addicted to heroin so that he can manipulate him, that's shown pretty often in the film. That's kind of like the main reason that his name's Junior, I think. But Junior is really funny. Again, I don't remember the exact details, but he goes to talk to that one girl, the only girl that's in the house at the bad guy's house in the beginning, and she's taking a bath, and he kind of just walks in, and they have like this really simple conversation. I'm pretty sure it was just like about how they aren't going to date, even though one does and one doesn't, like. And then Krug comes in, like, makes him uncomfortable and scares Junior away or whatever. But there's this moment. The film's only 80 minutes, so it kind of flies by, but at the same time it drags, because the setup between the girls dying and the revenge of the girls dying is very long and overdrawn out. So there's a scene right when the main character, I don't remember what her name is, Sarah or something like that, but the main character isn't the one that gets tortured the most in the beginning. She's kind of just forced to sit there and watch. And while that's happening, she goes over to Junior. And Junior is very obviously just like a lackey. He's kind of just like the dumb guy that they tell what to do. So she tries to take advantage of that, and she's like, "Yeah, we're friends, right?" And she kind of just tries to coerce him into like being friendly with her, which he is. He's a nice guy, He's only doing the stuff like that because his father has him addicted to heroin. and guarantees he'll give him heroin if he does the things he asks. That's really the only reason he's constantly objecting to the things that are happening, going, "Come on, Krug, this is too far, and you're doing too much." And everyone's just like, "Shut the fuck up, Junior." So he's the outcast of the group, and Sarah, whatever the fuck her name is, sees that. So she tries to befriend him, and he gets pretty friendly with her. She gives him her necklace that her mother just gifted her, which is how the family finds out that they're the group who murdered her. The mother sees her necklace on him. And she's like, "We're friends, right?" And she's like, "You don't look like a Junior. You look like a Willow." And he's like, "Willow? That's kind of a dumb name." He's like, "No, like a willow tree. You're grounded and you rustle in the wind or whatever." And he does this little like body language thing where it kind of is like if someone was joking around about being electrocuted, you do the same thing, but he's like mocking her for calling him a tree. So he like stiffens himself and like shakes and goes, "Ugh." It's really funny. I really liked. I think Junior is hilarious, and just he's probably one of the best spoken characters. Like everybody fits their characters really well, but his line delivery is my favorite out of everybody in the film. Even Krug is kind of a little lackluster compared to him because he's just kind of the mean guy. There's a piece of bark right in my spine. Let me shift a little bit. That's a slightly smaller piece of bark digging into my spine. That's great. That's fantastic. So, what am I talking about? Junior was funny. Then there's these cops, right? And the cops are, it's probably the biggest, like, true-to-life message, because this film is kind of more or less just like a moral scare panic kind of movie. Where... What the fuck are you gonna do, bro? Trucks don't deserve rights on the road. I will stand by that. If you drive a truck, you better stay in the right lane or get out of the way when people are... And this isn't like a New Jersey thing of like, hey, I drive fast. It's you are an inconvenience and you're getting paid to be on the road. It's your own fault if you're pulling full 8-hour or 16-hour shifts or whatever and like having to get to a spot like because you're short on time. Fuck off. You're getting paid. I get paid after I drive. You're getting paid to drive. So maybe stick to the right lane and don't pass the trucks that are going too slow for you because you're also too slow. Just because you're going 2 miles an hour faster, you suck. What was I talking about? The cops. So, almost immediately. Actually, how immediate is it? I'm trying to, because I guess the parents realize that the girls are missing way sooner than I remember that. Because the cops show up really soon, and the whole reason they show up is because the parents are concerned that the daughter didn't come home to celebrate her birthday. They have like a banner up and like a cake ready to go, and they're doing very nice parent stuff for their kid for her birthday. And she doesn't come home, so they call the police, and the cop is like, teenagers, they're probably just doing drugs and having fun. She'll be home by tomorrow. And like literally, he's doing everything in his power to dismiss the possibility that this girl is missing or in trouble in some way, shape, or form. And that is probably philosophically the truest thing that comes out of this film, is that cops are primarily going to dismiss anything unless unequivocally true. Especially if it's like a woman, I'm not gonna get into that because there is the whole thing of like if it's a white girl going missing, because that's who went missing, was a white girl. So, maybe standards have changed in the early 2000s and we switched from sexism to racism as like a coping mechanism. And maybe just in the 70s, people were more sexist than they were racist. So women going missing is no big deal because, she's probably just doing sex. You know how those teens are. And they're not funny. They're not actually funny. They're funny in a slapstick, like goof 'em up kind of way. They spend the whole film just like slightly out of reach of solving the problem, but because they're cops, they're not going to solve the problem. They're just going to get in the way. Or actually, they don't even get in the way. They show up at the wrong time, and I'm sorry if the wind is bad. If I was sitting in like a slightly enclosed area, I could at least move my phone somewhere to block the wind, but I'm next to a highway that goes both ways, sitting up against a tree, so air moves around me in different directions, and I cannot help. I apologize. I'll probably listen to this myself just to make sure how bad it is and be like, damn, that's a shame. So, the cops are idiots. There's one particular scene which I heard on the Sick on Cinema podcast say that they found this scene to be completely useless, and I think that's funny because it was probably the funniest thing that the cops could have done. Is their car breaks down because they like ran out of gas because the deputy is also dumb. So they're hitchhiking. These cops are hitchhiking, and this lady in a chicken truck, like it's just like a pickup truck full of cages of chickens. And she's like, I'm not getting rid of any of my chickens. If you want to ride, you have to ride on the roof of my car. And that's just what they do. So there's just like a, was it Benny Hill? Yeah, it's like that kind of music to these cops just like getting on like hard, like really badly. Like they're trying to get on top of this car, especially the heavier one. Because like, you know, fat jokes in the 70s are prime. Like who needs racism when you have fat jokes? I've been talking about this for a while, right? Sorry, I have to get to the second film too. So, a couple more things. Let me just point out a couple more things from this film, and I'll move on to the second one, because I don't want to linger on Last House on the Left too long. I don't even really like it that much. It's good and historically important, but that's kind of it. It's not great. It's not, fantastic. It's well made. Anyway. While these girls are being tortured, before the first girl is killed, I guess before both of them are killed, they're being transported from their safe house in the city to a cabin in the woods that's more secluded, so they can do more horrible things without worrying about it. And they make a stop, and they're going into the woods. They're getting ready to go into the woods, and what does the main character see? Her goddamn, I think his name's Mary, actually, Mari, maybe. She sees her mailbox. She's home. She's gagged and surrounded by evil people, but she is at the end of her driveway. She is home. And then she's taken into the woods. And the cops pull up 30 seconds too late, and they go, oh, that's weird. There's a car parked here. It wasn't parked here earlier. It must be new. And they write it off and whatever. It's just it's a really I don't want to call it actual comedy, but it's funny. This girl realizing oh my God, I'm back at home. I could be saved right now. But no. She dies 15 minutes later at most. And then lastly, the girls die. That's kind of uneventful. It's actually the least eventful part of the film. Although it is probably one of the worst uses, or probably the cheapest form of like special effects body parts, because they cut off the first girl's hand. They cut off the first girl's hand to show it to the other girl and be like, yeah, look how scary this is. But they don't have a real fake hand. So they just have her stick her hand through the arms of the group, like the bad guys. So it's just her hand. She's shoved through the arms of these people. It's really funny. Just more clever, I guess. It's low budget filmmaking at its best. You have to make do. Thanks, gravel truck. Love it. So, lastly is the revenge. And the revenge is kind of good. It's not satisfying, really. It's just kind of like, it's fine, but it's a rape revenge film. You need to have some revenge. But because the big curveball is that, like, oh, the girls are dead. Who's going to get the revenge? Well, it's the parents. And the parents, they booby trap their home. Which I said in my review of Last House on the Left that it's very Home Alone-like, because he like pours water on a carpet and then puts exposed wires under it to like electrocute whoever steps on it, and like really over-the-top booby traps. And someone pointed out, the same podcast, Sick on Cinema, was like, yeah, Wes Craven loves a booby trap. And it never clicked with me. Everything I've seen of his probably does have a booby trap of some sort. I mean, Scream is based off of booby traps. And if we're talking about, like, The Hills Have Eyes, that whole last explosion is a booby trap. So it's a thing that he does, and I guess I just never realized until they said it. But it's funny. But it ends with, if you've ever seen, not Last House, Spit on Your Grave, there's the controversial thing about her revenge is it's just more sex. Like, rather than her just, like, sneaking up on a dude and, like, stabbing him, she pretends to still be the ditzy, vulnerable girl, gets these people to take their pants off, and then she kills them with their pants down, like biting their dick off or whatever. That's kind of done in this film. It is done in this film. The mom seduces somehow one of the dudes. The dude that doesn't wear shoes. He just has sandals, or he's picking his toes. That guy. And she coerces him into taking his pants off, and she bites his dick off. And, like I said, the revenge kills aren't very satisfying, but they are clever. I think the Home Alone trap was pretty fun, and the dick biting was fun, and the chainsaw was cool too, although, intentionally infuriating, I think. So that was Last House on the Left. It's a fine movie. I actually like it less, or I rated it lower than I did last time. I rated it 3.5. I dropped it to a 3. Not that it matters. I don't generally talk about scores, but I did find it to be less good than I remember it. But that's just from an enjoyment standpoint. I bet if I watched a making of and, maybe got a little bit more context into how that Hess guy was treating those women, there could be a higher score in there. It could be lower, too, depending on how true that shit is. And how bad it was. So, moving on to our second film. The second film in our double feature. And hopefully I can get through it. I probably don't have a lot to say about it, realistically. But I watched A Nightmare on Elm Street. The original A Nightmare on Elm Street. And, Did you know that there's an unrated cut of A Nightmare on Elm Street? Because I didn't know that at all. I didn't know that there was ever anything cut. I thought the theatrical cut is all that existed. I've owned 3 separate copies of Nightmare on Elm Street in my life, and they've all never mentioned theatrical cut. And you would think at least one of those would say, like, included with the extended unrated cut. But it exists, and it's like 9 seconds longer or something like that. Like, it's really minimal, but it's such a good 9 seconds. Like, I don't think I could ever watch Nightmare on Elm Street without those 9 seconds, because it's just so good. It's so grimy and bloody, and it makes the scene so much more aggressive. So, look, I don't know, should I summarize A Nightmare on Elm Street? Like, does that matter? I mean, I summarized The Last House on the Left really badly. I might as well do this. Freddy Krueger exists. He was a child murderer, and some people murdered him with fire, and now he haunts people's dreams. And Nancy is the child, amongst other people on her street, that child of the people who killed Fred Krueger, and he is out for revenge. Good summary, right? I was excited to talk about, like, this double feature, but I realize now that I don't know if I really have anything interesting to say about A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's significant, like I can broadly say it's a significant film. It's good, like it's one of my favorite horror films, one of my favorite horror franchises. One of the few times that a Wes Craven sequel that doesn't involve Wes Craven I enjoy, because I don't like the non-Wes Craven Scream movies. I can't. I watched 5 and I couldn't like it enough, and then 6 looked bad, and 7 I heard horrible things about it, plus the production and all that shit. I don't want to get into that. This is a Wes Craven episode, and that's not Wes Craven. That's Kevin Anderson or whatever the fuck his name is. So, Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't really. Damn, I kind of shot myself in the foot with this one, haven't I? What the hell do I say about Nightmare on Elm Street? Like, I'm a big fan of Freddy Krueger. I like his violence. I like that he gets ridiculous the longer time goes on. I am one of the few people who enjoys a lot of the Freddy sequels, including 2. 2 is my favorite, one of my favorite horror movies. If you haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street 2, you are doing yourself a disservice. Plus, it is Pride Month, and that is a gay movie. So, there's that too. I didn't know it was gay when I fell in love with it, which is probably saying something about me, but I'm not going to dig into it. But what the fuck, man? I guess really the most thing I can talk about is this unrated version, this unrated cut. So, like I said, it's only 9 seconds, or around 9 seconds. I'm taking Google's word for it. They said like 6 to 10 seconds. So I'm, it's the first big gore scene, and there's some cool violence leading up to this, and like horror in general. But the first real gore scene, when like it's 100% confirmed that there is a weird entity killing people in their sleep, and that is Tina's death. Tina is she's the girl you open with. She's the one who has a bad dream in the beginning, wakes up, and her alcoholic mother is like, "What are you doing being annoying? Go the fuck to sleep. You're being annoying, and I have a boyfriend over, and we're drunk, so shut the fuck up." Which is a very Wes Craven parent. I don't know if Wes Craven just doesn't like parents ever since he grew up and realized that his parents were kind of not neglectful. I don't know anything about like their actual relationship, but just the fact that they were so controlling over his media consumption really tells me a lot about them. It's like people 100 years ago saying like, the book I read on women writers a few weeks ago, like one of the huge things was women are reading too much fiction. Ugh. They're rotting their brains with this fiction. Like, it's the same argument over and over again, just with whatever's new. And I wonder, am I the old person for disliking and finding the destructiveness of short-form content and second-screen content and all that shit? Or is it genuinely so bad that even I, as a person who just is fully immersed in consumerism, can still see the problems with it? Because it makes me depressed, dude. It makes me horribly depressed. And, I've uninstalled most of my social media apps for that exact reason. And I'm like, oh, that'll help me cut down. But no, it just consolidated all my scrolling into one app. And that sucks. Because, it disappoints me to be stuck looking at my phone. And, like, I'll verbally say, like, I don't want to be doing this. And then I'll put my phone down and go, like, what should I do then? And then inherently I'll just pick up my phone and, open... I can hope that I open Letterboxd or, something that isn't Instagram. Literally anything that isn't, like, actual algorithmic social media, I try to consume as much as possible because it's destructive. If it's not destructive to everybody, it's destructive to me. I have a very addictive personality to begin with. I'm very easily convinced to fall in love with things and hyperfixate on them. And, that's why I don't play Call of Duty anymore. I stopped playing Call of Duty because that is also destructive to me. It is me putting in 36 hours for no reason. Because I'll hit prestige and go, okay, now what? Like I'm not going to get into that. I will always prestige. I will never stay at max level. I will always prestige because without levels, there's no reason for me to play the game. Without any goals to work towards, there's no reason for me to play the game. And I am not camo farming. I don't want to farm for camos. I don't want to sit there and on fucking shipment holding down the trigger hoping I can shoot someone through a thin piece of metal for FMJ kills or whatever. What am I talking about? Nightmare on Elm Street, dude. How did I get there? How the hell did I get from Nightmare on Elm Street's Tina's death to Call of Duty? Addictive personalities, Instagram. I don't know. I don't know how I got there. Maybe I said I was depressed. I don't know. But yeah, Tina's death is really the pinnacle of the unrated cut. Because it's... And you can Google it. They literally describe what scenes are added, like what cuts. And it's literally just like... It's mostly just Tina getting thrown around the room and like... just like falling face first into the ground and like being thrown... Like, it's just more violence of the same exact nature. It's just... Because it's longer and lingers more, it's a little bit more exploitative and... I guess more violent. But, what am I trying to get at with this? How do I even describe it? There's like, it's 9 seconds. How do I talk about 9 seconds? So, all right, maybe I could build the scene for you. Tina starts screaming, right? She's rustling under the sheets. She's freaking the fuck out. I think his name is Grady. Actually, that might be the gay friend from Nightmare on Elm Street 2. But boyfriend wakes up, jumps out of the bed, goes, "What the hell? There's someone in their bed with us, and they're attacking Tina." He's not really doing anything, and then I think the sheet comes off, and she like flies up in the air, and the knife gashes go through her chest. And then an additional thing was added where you look at boyfriend and he's kind of muttering to himself, like more confusion and stuff. Then it cuts over to her being thrown against the wall and kind of shifting back and forth. And normally what would happen is it would cut off. Or no, it cuts back to boyfriend again. She's getting like wiped around the wall. And then it cuts back to her to an additional scene of her being thrown head down into the floor with her legs facing forward. So when she lands, she's like ass up with her like knees between her head between her knees. And I think that just that major crotch shot of Tina in her underwear was a little too racy for people, the MPAA or whatever. So I think that was the primary reason, because it's not like there's more gashes or cuts or anything, but there's 2 additional like 3-second shots of this girl crotch up screaming in agony. And there's one point where I'm pretty sure she actually fell and hurt herself. Maybe that's another reason they looked a little bit too real, because there was a part where actually I think I messed it up already. I think before she gets thrown into the air, she's thrown off the bed, and I'm pretty sure she hits her head on her way down. I feel like she hits her head at some point in this, and it looked like it wasn't part of the scene. It just happened to be a thing that happened. And it just worked really well. And I hope she doesn't dislike that extra footage, because I think it makes the film so much better. I mean, everything else is, it's all the same. Nancy is still the best final girl. I've been kind of trying to stay away from these weird tags that people are getting. Like I told my partner that I don't really like the Scream Queen label anymore. I don't think it necessarily says anything about the person. It just kind of says to me like, oh, this is a girl that was in a horror movie, a slasher usually, primarily. And I don't know. I was like, why is Mia Goth considered a scream queen? And my partner was saying that she screams in Pearl. And like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen Pearl in over a year now, I think. But like, yeah, she does scream in the movie, but she's not doing like, and this is where our disagreement kind of like got a little bit out of hand, I was like, it's not a horror scream. And I think what I mean is it's not just like a guy's coming at you with a knife kind of scream. It's like she's having a mental breakdown in Pearl. So like, yeah, she screams, but it's not like she's screaming because a dude was pursuing her. Her screams are all, at least again from what I remember, I'll rewatch it, maybe I'm wrong, but like I almost like to a T remember the fact that all of her screaming was very effective and amazing, but it was not like like it's not a slasher scream. And the fact that she's being called a scream queen, I am being a little unfair. I'm thinking only about Pearl. I just realized that X is more of a slasher, so maybe she screams in that. But I still don't think so. I'm pretty sure most of Mia Goth's stuff in the first 2 films is her like being inquisitive and dramatic. Anyway, I'm not talking about Ty West. I'm Nightmare on Elm Street. Nancy is by far one of the best final girls, one of the best women in horror that ever existed. She calls people out for being bad at their job. She calls parents out for being bad at parenting. She is a real person, and she's awesome. Plus, I was gonna follow that up with she's very pretty, but the longer I make this silence, the weirder that's gonna come off. So I'm just gonna move on. Move on to what though? I don't fucking know, dude. It's one of those things where I don't think there's anything I could really point out that I dislike. I can look back at my review and look at things I've complained about, because one thing I do like to do sometimes is like, oh, I've seen this movie so many times, I can only praise it so many times. Let me find stuff to not like about it. And I did that with like Stephen King's It, and I think maybe ABC's A Death, maybe Saw. I'm not really sure. I know for a fact I did it for Stephen King's It, because that's 3 hours of me finding things to complain about. And there's a lot to complain about in Stephen King's It, no matter how perfect I think it is. Not the 2017-2019 It's. I don't believe in Part 2. Part 2 is bad, and one of the worst travesties in Stephen King cinema history. And I've seen a lot of Stephen King, not all of it, but a lot. The body bag scene is great. Oh, I never realized until this watching, and maybe it's because I have never seen the 4K. By the way, I have a 4K of it. That's how I found it. I never said that, actually. I have the unrated cut because I bought the new 4K steelbook on eBay for like $7. I got really lucky on a bid, and with shipping, I think I paid $12, and I got a 4K steelbook of Nightmare on Elm Street, with the one with the 4 gashes in the front. It's not embossed like I thought it would be, but for $7, it's not a problem. But yeah, I pressed play and it was like theatrical or unrated, and I'm like, the fuck? I never even heard of it. So yeah, I watched it in 4K, and maybe it's because it was in 4K. Maybe it's because I just rewatched a bunch of the Insidious films. But Nancy's teacher is Lynn Shay, the older woman from the Insidious films, the ghost hunter. God, I try not to say that. I've been really trying not to say hate, because when I say hate, I get into like a hate pit. It's kind of what I call it, where I just can only think of the word hate, so I try not to think of that. It's not good. But I'm not what was I saying? I don't like the sounds of New Jersey. Yeah. I wish I could record this in like, I don't know, a 3x5 closet with a white noise maker in it, maybe? I don't know. I guess I'm not gonna dick around much longer. Yeah, Lynn Shay is in the film. It was very exciting to see. I like seeing Lynn Shay in things. Apparently she's in everything, because I then saw her in Exorcist 2: The Heretic, which bad movie, by the way. But she's in that, which was cool to see. Yeah, and the 4K is really honestly, you should seek it out. Genuinely, because not only does it have the unrated cut on it, but it also has the I think it's called Never Sleep Again, the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. Like there's a lot of extra features on this single disc 4K, which is good, because most 4Ks have all the special features on the Blu-ray that comes with it, and I hate that with a passion. I'm not going to switch discs to watch the featurette. Well, I will eventually, but I don't want to. Yeah, so I just stood up. Realistically, I guess that's kind of it. I wish I had something more to say about Nightmare on Elm Street, but I think I'm going to have more to say about my next episode when I talk about my next double feature, because that's going to be a lot more new territory for me. At least with this, it was me just kind of rewatching a couple films, and Nightmare on Elm Street I've seen countless times. The only thing that was new to me was those extra 9 seconds and the fact that it was in 4K. And both things were amazing and a great experience. Anythingbutted@gmail.com if you want to reach out to me. I don't know, maybe there's talking points that I could focus on for like every movie, so that there's like a little bit of consistency. See how I'm still trying to push consistency, even though I keep saying I don't need consistency. I'm just a person that talks into a phone, and I have a theme song. Like, that's the most effort I put into this podcast, and somehow I still have to find a way to put structure to it. So I guess, anythingbutted@gmail.com if you want to tell me about those hypothetical questions or talking points I can focus on. I don't know. I just say things to give you incentive to talk. Because, I like to reach out to podcasts when it's someone I appreciate. So, maybe, I don't know. I appreciate myself, I guess. I'll just email myself. That's fucked. But yeah, you could email me if you want. I exist, and I check my phone way too often because I'm addicted to technology. And as long as I can avoid scrolling through Instagram, I'm way happier. So, keep me off Instagram. Other than that, that's kind of it. You have been listening to Taste Like Tea, a podcast about me am I am me am tea. I'm never gonna get that right.